Hello chess friends, my name is Sir Glenn, and again here's another video of chess lesson. This time I'll be teaching chess openings. Okay, so the center of our attention today is the opening that happens after d4, d5, c4, c6. At ito yung tinatawag nating Slav defense. Okay, now the Slav defense was played by world champions, namely Oyvi or Yue as pronounce it, Botvinnik, Smyslov, and nowadays it's played by top grandmasters such as Vishwanathan Anand, Vladimir Kramnik, Vasily Ivanchuk, Joel Lautier, and of course Nigel Short from England. Ang defense na to is meant to meet the Queen's Gambit. Yun nga yung binibigay ng white yung c4 pawn. Okay, let's try to understand bakit binibigyan ng white yung center pawn. Kasi the classical knowledge is after black captures the queen's gambit pawn, it is well known na hindi siya pwedeng mag-hold on sa pawn o pilitin niyang maging pawn up, no? Because after b5, a4, c6, hindi pwedeng a6, no? Kasi after d, hangin yung rook dito. So, instead, c6, capture, and after queen f3, parsado yung black na magbigay ng bishop o knight para ma-save yung rook, no? Say for example, bishop b7, and then here, white captures the pawns on b5 and c4. Instead, black should give up the knight, and after takes here, at least defended niya yung pawn sa b7. But still, white is still one piece up. So, yun yung dahilan bakit hindi kinakain yung pawn sa c4. Although may opening na tinatawag na Queen's Gambit accepted na hinahayaan lang ng black na makapture ng white yung c4 kapalit ng development, possible din yung opening niya, no? So, ang tawag niyan is Queen's Gambit accepted na line or na opening. Okay, let's try to go back. So, after d4, d5, c4, black plays c6 kasi ang idea ng c6 is to support d5 and meet c takes d with c takes d. Kasi nga naman kapag e6 ang ginawa niya, which is what we call the Queen's Gambit decline, mapapansin niyo nahaharangan sa paglabas yung bishop, at kahit mailagay ng black yung bishop niya rito, pag for example b6, no? Halimbawa b6, no? Nakita ng white ng b6 siya at nag-capture dito, black pa rin yung diagonal, no? So, hindi masyadong effective. Okay, so let's try to go back. Okay, so after c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5. So napansin nyo, no? Una, hindi makalabas yung light square bishop. Pangalawa, napin pa yung knight niya, no? And it gives white in the position for slight advantage in the middle game. Even Curie knows that. Okay, let's go back. d4, d5, c4, c6, knight c3, knight f6. And now, the main line is knight f3 or e3. No? Let's discuss first knight f3. Knight f3 goes, idea niyan is either to enter the main line Slav or allow black to also enter the other variations of the Slav, the Shevchenko Slav, the semi-Slav. Yan, no? Okay, now I just like to mention na possible din dito na magkaroon ng ibang variation yung black, such as the note move variation, no? Sikat din to, although pwede rin hindi pumasok yung sa note move because after e4 takes bishop b4 check, may possibility na maging magulo ng position na to, no? White can go for the gambit, which is bishop d2, bishop b4, queen e4, which is kasama yan sa opening, no? Or he can simply play after knight c3, no? The main line of knight c3. Okay, let's go back. Now let's go back to knight c3. Knight c3 here. Now, kanina hindi pwedeng hawakan yung pawn ng black. Ngayon pwede na, no? After dc4, let's say for example black plays a4 to prevent b5. Black plays bishop b4, pinning the knight on c3 para ma-allow yung d5 advance. For example, white plays e3, takes. Pansinin mo, hindi makakain yung white sa b5, no? Dahil nakapin siya. So, in-eliminate niya yung pin. So, black is forced to play bishop takes c3, and then here, a5. Okay, anong idea ng a5? You will see later. After b3, bishop b7, hindi pwedeng kainin yung b3 kasi pag kinain, check, tapos after harang ng check, queen takes b3. Lamang na yung white. So instead, black plays b4, bishop b7, and then after takes, b4. No, hindi na pwedeng kainin kasi defended yung rook sa a8. So atras siya, and then knight f6 or knight e7, usually knight f6, no? Knight f6, knight bd7, castle, no? Ayan yung black gives white a big center, no? E4, d4, and c4. Pero meron siyang pass pawn sa queen side, no? Meron siyang advanced pass pawns, the a5 and the b4 square. So ang idea nito, binibigyan niya ng positional advantage yung white kapalit ng endgame advantage. So parang may insurance na yung black. Kung hindi successful yung white sa pagpapalaki ng initiative niya sa king side and in the center, in the endgame, sure win na yung black, no? Lalo na kapag nag-start ng mag-advance ng mga pawns. Anyway, it's risky for black, but some players would like that. Even I play that in tournaments sometimes. So try to go back. Knight f3, knight f6, knight f3, and then here our main move is d takes c4. Ngayon, here black has the option to play e6, which is considered semi-Slav kasi hindi rin niya nilabas yung bishop niya, no? Pero ang idea niyan is to prepare e5 or c5 first before bringing the bishop to life. So for example, the main line is after e3, knight bd7, bishop d3, takes e5, no? May tempo sa bishop, and a6 to prepare c5, castle, bishop b7, then after e4, c5. Napansin nyo na buhay uli yung light square bishop, but this time it's on the b7 square. Or he can play another way, which is instead of capturing yan, bishop d6 muna, castle, and let's say for example white plays, let's say for example bishop d2, no? Now black can play either takes muna sa c4 and then prepare e5 by queen e7 or rook e8. No, usually I prefer queen e7, and after queen e7, let's say for example queen c2, e5. This time mabubuhay yung bishop dito sa diagonal na to. So after takes, so yung light square bishop ng black pwede namang develop freely sa diagonal na to. So that's just two ways on how to play the semi-Slav defense. Okay, so after bishop, pwede rin yung a6, which is what we call the Shebanenko Slav. Shebanenko Slav is, idea nun is it keeps open the b5 square, forcing white to either capture or push c5, tapos makakalabas na yung light square bishop without hemming in, o na hindi siya matatakpan ng e6. So for example, sample live would be let's say for example queen b3, then d5, no, forcing things. Usually sa d5 kung makapture, kasi pag dito medyo binibigyan ng open file yung white. So dito e3. Now black can bring his bishop here, knight e5, bishop f5, bishop e2, e6, castle, bd7, no? And eventually rook b8, rook e8, ganun mga plano, no? If white plays a4 kasi b4 lang, no? So yung mga ganyang line, no? Queen b6, so possible din yung mangyari sa Shebanenko Slav. Okay, so again, we are not here to discuss in detail yung mga openings na to, no? Kumbaga binabanggit ko lang sila in passing so that you would be aware na may alternatives sa main line, no, which is the Slav. Okay? I would like to also mention na meron din tayong tinatawag na Cambridge Springs. No? Ano yung Cambridge Springs? Galing sa semi-Slav. For example, after e6, let's say for example white plays the bishop out, bishop d5. Well, meron din tayong main line na kumakain dito, c4 after that. So after here, super sharp to, no, ng bot pinning system. After e5, e6, takes, capture, manatili yung pin, knight, para i-discourage yung bishop takes, g3, g3 ba agad? I think g3 agad eh. Bishop b7, capture here, and then c5, d5, queen b6, bishop g2, castle. No? Yan yung isa sa mga sharpest line din ng black against white, no? Yung tinatawag nating the Botvinnik system. The champion of those kinds of defense is kilala rito si Shirov, no? Si Shirov likes both colors, sometimes more likely sa black, no? Kasi yung unbalanced and complicated type na formation. Well, another alternative is the Cambridge Springs, which happens after knight d7, e3, and then queen a5, no? Malupit yung idea nito kasi ang idea niya, take advantage niya yung absence or pagkawala ng dark square bishop sa loob. Let's say for example, white just plays bishop c4, black plays bishop b4, and if black tries to defend it, black now plays here, no? Matindi yung knight e4 line kasi tatlo na yung nakatapat yan. Let's say for example, white captures it, and after the knight retreats, the bishop on g5 is hanging, no? He is forced to give up a pawn here, which gives black a very healthy advantage, one pawn up. So hindi dapat capturing ng white yan, no? Let's say for example, he just plays queen b3. Now after exchanges, let's say for example dc4, knight takes g5, knight takes, and then dc4, takes, then takes. White now still wins a piece by playing queen takes g5, no? Yung mga isa sa sikat na trap. Okay. Alright. I would like to also note galing sa notebook yung black, no? Black can also transpose to the Slav defense, Stonewall defense, which happens after knight f3, f5, no? Alam mo naman yung sa Stonewall defense, yung characterized by the e6, f5, d5, c6 structure, and then black will just develop his pieces inside his walls, no? And tinatawag nating Stonewall defense ng black, no? Again, it's off our topic, another topic yan. Let's not dwell on that, but instead we'll concentrate on knight f6, knight f3, and then dc4. This is our main line, yung tabiya ng opening natin, is the start of our discussion. Okay, so let's discuss. So black gives up the center. Bakit natin sinasabing gives up the center? Kasi binibigyan natin ng white ng tandem sa gitna, no? Yung e4, d4, kapalit ng pinoproblema nating pressure point ng white na d5 square. So let's for example here, if white plays directly the e4, which is considered the Slav gambit, or some says it's called the Geller gambit kasi si Geller yung champion nito, no? After knight f6, knight e4, no? Yung ganyang idea. Ang idea kasi ng Geller gambit is try to produce as many pieces sa king side, no? Ganyan, and then try to attack it, no? Iipon siya ng pyesa sa gitna, sa center, sa king side, tapos mag-aamas siya ng forces niya, tapos a-attack siya. Sometimes white even do it without castling, you know? So, bishop 7, h4, h5, no? So yan, h5, h6, no? Yung mga ganyang idea, no? And he will try to put his pieces on the king side at takayin yung black. Okay. Kasi medyo passive ang positions ng black. Okay, that's also one line. Depends on the mood and temperament of player, no? Pero usually after DC4, if you're playing Slav, you should always be prepared. Number one preparation mo dapat ang Geller Gambit. Kasi may mga player na talaga nagpe-play ng Geller Gambit. Okay. Okay, before I forgot, guys, meron din palang tinatawag na Skeletster, Slav Skeletster, no? Yung black tries to combine the Grunfeld defense, which is characterized na by Fianchettoing the Dark Square Bishop in D7 and pushing D5. Diyan, instead of going for C5, black plays C6. Yan yung tinatawag natin Skeletster Slav, no? Actually, possible din siya at madali rin siyang replace sa black. So, let's say for example, white goes in for the exchange, CD, and then tries to pressure D5 kasi nga medyo kilala ang Skeletster na passive but solid setup, no? White just simply continues with bishop G6, and after bishop G5, idea is take on F6 and take on D5. Black will simply play knight C6, ignoring the attack. Kasi after bishop takes, let's say for example, knight takes, well, here, it's possible for black to play bishop takes D4. Bawi, no? Pero I think it's dangerous because of rook D1. But here, let's say for example, black plays queen A5 check. So forced ang knight retreat, no? Kasi wala nang iba para makarangan check. Pag hinarangan ng queen anywhere like queen C3, capture yung knight sa D5. So let's say for example knight C3. Ngayon, it's possible for black to have a counter punch by playing knight takes D4. So hindi pwede yun. But instead of capturing on F6, white can continue with E3. And after E6, solidifying the D5 pawn, black will experience solidity sa position. Wala naman siya masyadong problema dyan. Okay. Hirap putting the question to the bishop. Siyempre, i-avoid natin magkaroon ng two bishops yung black. But here, black forces it by playing knight H5. So, ito yung mga samples na pwede mong i-play ito. Ngayon, ang tanong is, paano yung pressure sa B7 po? Mawawala din yan, no? One idea is to play bishop D7 and the idea of rook B8 pag namatay na yung bishop D3. Let's say, for example, rook here, capture. Now, black can play bishop D7, which is after queen takes, rook B8, may ganti ka naman dito sa B2. So, hindi siya talaga considered na threat. And then, you can develop naturally. Let's say for example, white tries to play knight A4, knight C5, B6 lang. Wala siyang post sa C5 square. So, yeah, knight A5. And black is doing fine. After the exchange of bishop and rook C8, knight C4, I don't see any problem for black. Okay, let's try to go back. Okay, here, the most popular move for white is to play knight F3 first. Bakit? Kasi, let's say for example, nag-knight C3 yung white, may possibility ang black to play E5. Okay? Ang idea ng E5 after DE, D4, medyo magkakaroon ng kakaibang opening yung black, no? It's part of pangalan ng opening na to. I'm just familiar with the opening, but it's kindly associated with one of the sidelines. Here, possibility is to play queen A5, bishop D2, queen takes E5, yung mga ganyan na idea, no? But I don't think yan yung main line, but it's a possible opening. Kaya most player would prefer knight F3 first. Okay, now let's go to the main line. After D4, D5, C4, C6, knight F3, knight F6, knight C3, D takes C4, a4 to prevent b5, and then finally we play bishop f5. Possible din to, ibang opening yan, pero I like bishop f5 more because it prevents e4. Okay, I will discuss this on my next video. Thank you for listening. Bye bye for now.